of this gigantic fucking Alaskan crab that I got. I got a taxidermied Alaskan crab.
Where are you right now? Why do you have
house.
like, it's like the board that you use to like hang stuff in?
Oh yeah, this is my little getaway room in my house. I named it
like your little cubby hole where you escape to?
It's the little fucking storage area underneath my stairs going to my basement. You go here, it looks like a bomb shelter. It's all getting lined with wood and shit though.
It's exciting.
And over here I got a TV and a Sega Genesis.
Going old school.
Yeah.
I like it. Retro.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Sega game?
My favorite's Earthworm Jim.
Really?
Yeah. It's
over
like
Sonic 2?
Yeah. Earthworm Jim is one of the greatest video games ever made, hands down.
I don't know how I feel about that right now. Okay, let's see real fast while we're on here. Let me go to my profile and see if there's any.
You see I cut all my hair off?
Oh, it's on here. It's on Twitter right now. Okay, hold
on.
We're
on Twitter?
Yeah. Oh, this
Where's
is
the
great.
Link?
All right, I'll send it to you in your DM.
Yeah, send it to me.
Oops. All right, there you go. And you can let Forrest, Mommy, and all them know that we're on here. Oh, this is great. And I titled it, Heather and Felix Take on the World.
I like it.
Okay, so this is really exciting. I've never done this before. I've never done it live. I like to, I have OCD really bad, so I like to edit it first and make sure it looks good before I put it out for the world.
No, fuck it. I'm doing it live.
Fuck it. Okay.
What are you drinking?
Water.
I got that in this cup with my cats.
Aww. I gotta make you your cup. This is my, hold on. Which way do I go? Shouse in the House cup.
Oh, nice.
You know, branding and all that.
I got cat stuff everywhere. People just buy me cat shit. It's like.
So, okay. So let's talk about the cats.
Okay.
What do you love about cats so much? Like, why do you love cats so much?
Oh, it's not just cats. I like all animals. Cats are just a lot easier to take care of when you got a busy life.
Right.
There's food, water, place for them to piss and shit, and they're good.
They're pretty independent animals.
My mom calls me Noah. If I could have 2 of every animal, I would. But I only got time for cats.
Right.
So I just hoard them.
How many cats do you have?
So I'm down to 6 right now. So I fostered some and all. And then there was a clash between the 3 oldest girls. They were all fighting for who's the head bitch of the house.
Right.
And the one, Ren, she's violent and she would just fucking hurt everybody. So I had to all right, we got to separate these guys. They're all good. Yeah. That was for the best. It's not that I want to rehome pets, but it's somebody's going to fucking die if these 2 don't go to other houses.
So do you actually go and get them spayed and neutered and stuff? And
yeah. They're all the 2 youngest ones that I got now. They're going in 2 weeks to get all done.
Get all
their
the
brother
stuff
and
done.
sister. Yeah, their brother and sister. They'll get all fixed and everything.
I have I had 2 dogs. They were rat terriers, and they were so funny. If you want to hear a funny story about my dogs, so I went to the pet store in my hometown and got one dog, and he had fleas and scabies. He was the only one in the place. And I'm kind of a bleeding heart when it comes to animals too. So I had to take him home with me. And so when I took him home, I had him for about a year, and then I was down in Kentucky. So 1 state away, and I was in a client's office, and she had all of these dogs crammed into one of those little cat kennel, or the little 1 kennel carriers. And they were crammed in there so bad that their flesh was pushing through that metal grate that was on the front of it. Ugh. And I was there on business, and I was like, how much for your fattest dog that's in that? I just wanted to take it out so that some of the rest of them would have room. So I took her home with me, And I don't know, maybe about 5 or 6 months later, I was like, okay, well, I'll breed them. They're both fully registered canines. And when I went to start going through their paperwork to get them registered, they had the same father. They were half brother and sister. And I'd gotten them from like, so you could tell like they were puppy mills. So I just got them both fixed. I'm like, no big deal. But anyway.
Yeah, I got one dog, Boston Terrier. He's awesome. That's all I can handle right now. My house is big enough so like I might go like 2 or 3 days without seeing a cat because my house is just big enough. So it's not like I got 6. My house, my house right now it's 4,500 square feet. So like 6 cats got plenty of fucking room in here.
Right.
So it's not like I'm just like surrounded by fucking cats, you know. Like I
You're starting
like
to sound like the crazy cat lady.
The one cat, Candy, I may go like 5 days without seeing her because she's like one of those like secluded cats. You know? But as long as she's eating, whatever.
So I'm going to tell everybody real quick, like how you and I became friends with one another. So back in July, when Biden's administration came out and is like, stop eating meat. We're going to take your hamburgers and hot dogs away from you. Like it was like they were threatening to like not let us eat food anymore. Yeah. So someone had sent me a meme and it was like of the little hamburgers that were across and it was like the Texas flag where it says come and take it, but you had put come and stake it. But when I got the meme, it was already clean. Like it was already wiped. There was no name on it, nothing. And I was like, okay, I'll make a shirt out of it. No big deal. And then like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 hours after I posted it, I got a message through my website. It was like, hey, this is my meme. Can I like get a shirt or something for this? Like, and so we've been friends ever since. So I stole your meme and made a shirt out of it. And now we're friends. So
no, that was the cool thing to do. Even if you would have been like, fuck off, I'd have been like, okay. Like, whatever. You could have told me to just fuck off. I would have.
No, I would never do that. That's just lame. And I didn't mean to steal it. I try really hard. Like, if I see something I really like did you see the meme that went around from the Rittenhouse trial that had the judge on it? And it was like, I can't even remember now, where he's like, don't you get brazen with me. And like, he got pissed off and he's going like this to the thing. Somebody turned it into like the Gadsden flag or whatever, like in a meme. So I tried really hard to find who created it and nobody could tell me who it was and it wasn't watermarked. So I'm like, okay, it's going on a cup. But anyway.
Memes are fun. It's funny, like the whole thing with memes, like most, like the majority of the ones that I make, especially like the not funny ones, because I'm the only one that laughs at them. Like I make them myself,
right?
And usually, if I see one, I'll be like, "Oh, hey, yeah, this guy made it." You know what I mean? Right. Like it's. I don't know. It's weird. It's like, oh, I don't care. I don't make memes for me. I make them for everybody else. But then when I see like my meme, it's like, hey, motherfucker, I made it.
Yeah, it's like you want to take pride in it and be like, oh, that one's mine. Especially but the thing is, some people get really possessive about it. Like it's almost like NFT style. Like they get really angry if they're not getting credit.
I mean, I don't care. Whatever. I hate seeing somebody's meme that they make get tweeted out by somebody, and then it's like, oh, hey, my almost 100,000 followers. Here's a link to buy my t-shirts also. Right, I hate that shit. That shit bothers me a little bit. It's like you're taking what somebody else did and now you're trying to capitalize off of it. Right. Not off of what they made, but you're trying to like advertise your own shit on somebody else's shit.
Right. Like where they'll put it like, they'll send a meme out that goes like viral or a lot of people hit on it. And then in like the second message of the thread, they're like, oh, since this has got heat on it, please go here and do this. But
if it's your own shit. So like I've done that. Like I posted something that got big and I'm just like, oh, hey, my Etsy shop with all these t-shirts that I make is going to be up soon.
You're not using someone else's stuff. Yeah.
Now if I took your meme and it started to spread and like I knew
and then you put your own website underneath of it.
Yeah. That's kind of shitty. Like that's kind of a shitty thing. I don't like that. But I don't know. Memes are fun. I like them. My mom sends them to me, but they're ones that I have to act like I didn't see it 6 months ago. You know, my poor mother. It's like,
Oh,
oh, Mom, that's great. LOL.
my mom is so like not computer literate. She doesn't do any of that kind of stuff. And even like my podcast and stuff, it's really hard for her to listen, but she's like, give me the link. Like she wants to send it out to everybody. That's the only people that listen to my podcast is like my mom and her friends. That's it. But
Yeah.
but the but she can't even like listen to it herself. She just wants to send it to other people because she lets
Oh,
me.
she's
So
proud of you.
I
That's
know, I
good.
know.
That's good. My
Um,
mom's real good on computers. Like she's better than me. Like her and her husband, like everything in their house is fucking electronically controlled and shit. And it's like I can't do that. I don't even trust having like an Alexa in the house or some shit like that.
oh yeah, me
But like
either.
they have the Google Home, everything throughout the house, and she's good on that shit. Like sometimes I gotta call her, like, hey, how the fuck do I do this? And she walks me right through it. I'm like,
Oh, that's funny.
oh, that
All
stuff
right.
is nasty.
So how'd you get into let's just like dive right into it. So like how'd you get into anarchism? Like
I got fed up with everything. I so I grew up in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a very blue city.
mhm,
Um, it's not like, well, up until recently. Recently, it became, the short blue-haired fucking liberals
right.
are starting to take over the city. But it's fucked up because they're all the ones that moved in from the suburbs. They were privileged. They grew up in like Bucks and Montgomery County and all outside of the city. And they moved into the city, this one neighborhood, Northern Liberties. Now, when I was growing up, Northern Liberties was a neighborhood. Like if you didn't live there, you didn't fucking go there. Plain and simple.
Right.
Then all of a sudden they started moving in, and now like those houses, like 900 square foot, 2-bedroom row homes there are like $400,000. They turned it into like it's hipster paradise. Um, that's all new shit, right? But when I
Right.
grew up, like yeah, it was the mayor was always Democrat, shit like that, because it's a union town.
Sure.
Everybody's a union. Everybody's in a union there. I used to be a union. I was in a steelworkers union back fucking, geez, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago. I was a
Right.
union steelworker. That's just how it is.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 44.
God, man. Okay, keep going.
What?
You look so much younger than that. Like I would have never thought you were that old. Not that
Horse
that's really
driver,
that old. I'm 38, so
CeraVe and baby blood. But
I'll start calling you fucking Hillary. You're not Felix anymore. You're Hillary from now on.
yeah. But yeah, like I grew up it was Democrat, but it was like old school, like Kennedy Democrat. Like
Like
they didn't take
classic
no
liberal,
shit.
yeah.
Yes, the classic liberal. Um, then I went into the army, and I started coming back a little more right. And I
Mhm.
did cross that threshold and all, because like the military does it, like brainwashes you, and it's not the military itself. It's when you're a new young private, the platoon sergeants, the first sergeants, all like that. They all have that mindset, and they start beating it into your head when you're
Right.
young and impressionable like that. And finally, I don't know, I saw like a few years ago. Well, it's actually shit. I wouldn't even have said I was an anarchist up until probably like a year ago. Up until a year ago, I considered myself a libertarian.
Right.
And then I joined Twitter. And then I see the way the libertarians behave
It's like the meme
and the way
where it
they
says
think.
who
Like
radicalized you?
Liberty
Libertarian.
Twitter radicalized me. Like serious. It's like I give up. I give up. I didn't feel at home with the Democrats. I didn't feel at home with the Republicans. I linked up with the fucking libertarians, and then I saw the way that they think, and like constant, just like the other two parties, they constantly contradict themselves. Always. Um, the one thing that finally pushed me over, this isn't me saying I'm for or against the subject, the abortion argument is finally what pushed me over the edge. Because these people that claim freedom and liberty for everything, when I see them saying like freedom and everything, except for this, except for this, except for this, it's like, yeah, fuck you guys too. I'm done. I just want it all to burn down. like honestly, I'm done. I posted a tweet yesterday where I said I watched The Walking Dead and I wish I lived in that world. I'm dead serious. Like I'm so fucking fed up with all of this shit. And it all comes down to the political parties. For anybody to sit there and think that somehow the Libertarian Party or the Green Party are somehow any different than the other parties, like you're crazy. Right. You're nuts. You're absolutely nuts. There's people up top in all those parties, and they're controlling everything. People are like, oh, libertarianism, that, the Libertarian Party, that's the step towards anarchism. No, it's not. You think they're going to give up power?
Right. There's still a tiered level of power. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not going to give that shit up. They're going to maintain control by any means necessary, the same way the two big parties do now. And you're either high or stupid if you think that they're going to be any different.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, though. Like, let's be real about this.
Okay.
So let's say in a perfect world that you got the anarchy that you wanted, right? It's all burning down. Fed is shut down. Federal government is just altogether gone. And it moves to kind of a state government type situation. Do you burn the state governments down too? Or are you just really talking more divorce anarchy from the federal government? Like, what does that look like for you?
Honestly, I'm more towards the extreme side. I want it all gone. I want it all gone. I want people to do whatever the hell they want to do. So like if I'm on my chunk of land or whatever, right. I'm there. If next door, a group of communists on the next property over, they want to start up a little commune and all, have at it. Just don't fuck with me. Don't mess with me. As long as you let me be, I'll let you be. Right. That's my ideal perfect world. Is that realistic? Man, it would have to be like Book of Eli shit in order for that to happen.
Sure, yeah.
It would all have to come down. I mean, it's not very realistic, but that is my ideal world. I want everybody to live their life the best way that they see fit for themselves, without impeding on the lives of others. Honestly, and it's a shame that we need the vast majority of people, not just in America, in the world, they wouldn't know how to behave. They wouldn't know how to act. Like if that disappeared, it would right away, it would be survival of the fittest, right off the bat.
Yeah, and I think that there are some people who think they're prepared for that. I would question whether or not they actually are.
I don't know that anybody is. Anybody is truly prepared for that. No, nobody is truly prepared for that. And that would be one of those things you're going to find out the hard way, whether you're prepared for it or not. Nobody is.
I mean, I have some friends that are, preppers and survivalists that would be okay if something like that happened. But those are very few and far between. They're not a great number of them. So I think that we'd be in a really fucked up situation if it happened. Have you read the book 1 Second After? Have you read that book?
No.
Do you read?
No, I'm going to write it down.
Yeah,
I read. I got a bunch of books down here, actually. There's Michael Malice's
some people
book right
they don't actually like reading. It's called 1 Second After, and it's an EMP attack happens, and the entire world essentially stops all at once, and all of the people who need medications and things that's it.
Saving that for later.
Yeah, and it's an incredibly eye-opening book. It kind of ruined my life for about 2 months after I read it, because I was like, oh my God, I've got to get all this stuff. Like I turned into like psycho prepper because I'm a mom and, I worry about shit like that. But it's really good. So I think that you'll enjoy it, but it puts you in that mindset of what happens when vehicles don't work anymore. Your refrigerators don't work. Like anything electronic is completely fucking gone. So communication, all of that stuff. So it's apocalyptic, but it's interesting. So I don't know, like I when you talk about like you just want to be left alone essentially, right? Like you just want to kind of you just want to live your life. But
so
we also need community.
My little room, just to give you an example, my room that I'm in down here, it's still getting finished up and all. I just moved into this house in August and I had other stuff I had to do first. But my little room down here, like, it's called Lincoln because that's the name of the county, Lincoln, Montana, where that's where Ted Kaczynski lived, in that county, Lincoln, Montana. And that's what I refer to this. This is my leave me the fuck alone. Like the walls are all cement and everything. And it's like, just leave me alone.
I feel kind of privileged though that you've let me into Lincoln for live chat with Felix tonight.
Yeah.
So
and you get to see my fine artwork. And
I know. Yeah. Gosh, lucky. Super lucky.
Fantastic. Yeah, I got all kinds of shit. On the other wall, it's a giant full-size taxidermied Alaskan king crab. And it's like 80 years old. It's fucking huge.
Taxidermy or it's a picture?
Oh no, it's taxidermy.
Oh my god.
I gotta step over this.
Oh my god. That's
just
to
show
big.
you. So like there's my hand, like just to show you. It's a gigantic full taxidermy. Yeah. Some old lady gave that to me.
Things you learn.
It was her dad's. All right. So here's the deal. Let's talk on that a little bit about, hey, shit hits the fan, you know?
Right.
I like to think I know a little bit about a lot of things. There's some things that I am expert in, that I consider myself to be an expert in. There's a lot
what
of
things. What are some of those things? Tell me what some of those things are.
So I got like a background in survival training, tracking, hunting, stuff like that. I'm good with that. I will tell you, due to a complete lack of patience, I can get you a deer, but I'm not very good at cutting that thing up so we can eat it. You know, stuff like that. I don't know a lot of stuff about, I'm not very good techie wise. I was having trouble getting onto this shit. I'm not good at that. There's a lot of things that I'm not as proficient at it as other people are. So because of that, it's like, oh shit hit the fan. There's that I finally got that little, hey, that strength in numbers mentality.
Right.
I put together with the help of some people, we started going around and we put together a group of some like-minded individuals just like us. We recently found a guy, he's a butcher.
Awesome.
You know, we got that. We have an engineer, an electrical engineer. We have that. We got two guys actually. They build houses. So like they do some homesteading, so they got farming experience, you know, stuff like that. We put together this whole team, and it's like, hey, if shit really got bad, as long as we got each other, like, we should be okay.
So are you guys doing like some meetups where you're like sharing that knowledge with one another, where a butcher is teaching you guys how to like dress a deer?
We are getting together and doing that stuff, but if shit real, you know, so like the butcher, he's teaching us how to do this stuff, you know, in case we have to do it ourselves. But in a shit hits the fan scenario, hey, we're all working together.
Right.
I can go out and get us a deer and bring it back. That guy's going to be able to cut it up so we can all eat it.
Sure.
You know, while everybody else, it's like we made this where there's like no leaders in this. It's just a group of people. Hey, we all have the same mindset here. We can all help each other. It's a mutual assistance group. You know, like we can all help each other out. Yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's watching it all come together. But like I was saying, there's no leaders, but everybody's got like their responsibilities. Like, hey, if this happens, you handle this, you handle that, you handle this, stuff like that. And it's pretty cool. And I really recommend get out there, find people like that in your area and do the same damn thing.
Yeah.
So like, it's the Southern Colorado Civil Defense Front, or the SoCo CDF, is what we're calling it. And it's like, if one guy's in trouble, they make a phone, like we have a whole, like a call roster thing that we put together. A lot of us, most of us are veterans. So like we took a lot of the stuff from the military. So like in the Army, we had like the phone alert. You go down the call roster.
Sure.
You know, this person calls that person, and all. Yeah, we do that, and it's like you can send out like, hey, SOS, I'm in trouble, I need help, and then we're all ready to go.
Right.
It's like a little like QRF team also. Like we're all ready to go to help each other out. You know, yeah, we're looking for an automotive mechanic too. So like we want somebody who knows that, and like small, like who can work on cars and small engines and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, it's cool. I really suggest everybody else. I posted about it on Twitter last month, that we were doing this, and said, hey, I laid it out. This is what we're doing. I suggest you all start doing the same thing. Come up with your team, people that you trust. People are like, oh, you know, with a militia and all that. It's like, it's not a militia.
Right.
We're not a militia. Like, yeah, we all have guns, but we're not a militia. You know,
Yeah,
it's a group of guys just looking to help each other.
It's really interesting. And I think maybe the Rittenhouse trial really brought it to light, the desire to label anyone who doesn't want to live in the pod and eat the bugs is a militia. It doesn't even matter if you have a fucking gun. They want to label you the enemy because you don't want to toe their line. And
or being willing to survive without their help.
Correct. They do not want you to have any level of independence from them. They want you to need them. And it's really interesting because I think that, you know, like intuition is pretty valuable, right? Like you sit and you think about the things that are going on. You hear the things that are being discussed, especially with like this whole domestic extremist policy that Biden has issued and started implementing. I mean, fuck, you have Merrick Garland is starting to utilize the FBI to monitor parents that are protesting at school board meetings.
Yeah, that's scary.
And label them as terrorists. And so I think that, you know, you feel inside that there's been a shift, there's something changing, and you see people like Everytown USA and fucking Moms Demand Action getting platformed in a way that is insane. Like it's absolutely fucking nuts.
Right.
And so I don't know. I think you're 100% spot on. And I think people need to utilize the tools that they have available, right? Like I think a lot of people are really like they talk about like PERSEC and OPSEC and they're like, oh, I don't want anybody to know where I am or what I got going on. But you're just isolating yourself more. Like I get it. You don't want the mob to come after you, but build your team, build your network, and then the mob's not going to come after you if you have a mob waiting for them. So so I think that's really smart. It's a really cool concept. I think that you guys should do I mean, as you are gaining these people and gaining your crew, do some expanding on that. Do some classes where somebody can come in and learn how to change an alternator, or, you know, like where they can come in and be a part of that, where your community grows too.
I had a little business idea with that before. It's funny you said that, but I had a little class. I had a little like a business idea. Start up a class so that like people that like don't know how to change car tires and just basic shit like that, you know. But yeah, that's all stuff like that people should know
canning
how to do.
Or baking bread, like just like becoming self-sufficient in a way. Gardening, like let me teach you how to till a garden,
Cooking,
or you know, any of that kind of stuff.
Cooking is something that I've really started focusing on since the past like 3.5 months since I got into this house. It's like I need to get better with knowing how to cook this food. Like I can go catch this food but like,
Right. Can
can
you
I cook
clean
it?
it? Can you cook it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I've been working on myself. Yeah, we're all down in Cripple Creek, actually. There's a survival school down there that offers classes, and we're all planning to go. Like, let's do these. They have one. It's like 30 days out in the wilderness in the Rocky Mountains in the
That's
summertime.
so awesome.
Yeah, and it's like let's all do this. You know, they teach you all everything. They teach you like foraging for wild plants and fruits and
Yeah,
mushrooms
teaching
and
you
all
like
that you
what
can
can you
eat.
eat? What that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it costs a little bit of money, but it's like it's that education, that knowledge that you get, it's invaluable. Like you can't put a price on that stuff.
Right.
Because all it takes is like, oh shit, I went hiking, I got lost. All it takes is you need to apply that knowledge one time for it to
Right.
be worth it. You know,
Yeah.
that's it. But
Well,
yeah,
and I mean,
we're
teaching
going to
people
do that
simple
stuff.
things like, can you find your way from point A to point B without a GPS anymore? Can you use
Yeah.
a compass? Can you use a map? Can you read a topographical map? You know, like all of that kind of stuff. Those are skills and tools that people need to know how to do. I don't know. I just
Oh no, it gets everybody. Because like me, I noticed I think it was like last year. I noticed I was getting in my car, and even if I knew where I was going, I was automatically putting it into the GPS with not even thinking about it.
right.
And then I caught myself. It's like, wait, I know where the hell my house is. I'm going home. I know where I'm going. Why am I doing that? You
That's
know?
funny.
Yeah, we've become so dependent on technology and
Yeah.
the system and other people and all. And it's
Right.
like break free from it, you
And
know?
it's by design too. Like they
100%.
they
Yeah.
want you to need them in
Look at
so many
this
ways.
this metaverse. They literally want you to give up your life
Yeah,
and
to
live
sit at
inside of
home
their false world. Like,
and pretend that you're hanging out with people. Like, don't actually go
yeah,
out with them. Sit in your
no,
living room and pretend that you're with them.
yeah. Let's get back to the parents getting watched.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's scary, because now it's like they're trying to take your kids from you.
Oh, they've been
Like,
trying for a
plain and
long
simple.
time.
They're
Yeah,
trying to take your kids from you. And yeah, they have been trying, but they haven't had a legitimate reason to.
right.
Now here comes this virus. Now they can start putting mandates on your parenting. You know,
Right.
like you have to do this. And I mean, you see all the articles and all that are for this, like like, are parental rights really a thing and all like that, and these full opinion pieces, and it's like, what the hell are you talking about? Yes, parental rights are a thing.
Right.
But on the same hand, I don't agree with God, I hate when I go on Twitter and I see like, you know, outbreed the left and all like that. And it's like, are you going to have a bunch of kids and then brainwash them? Like, that's fucking wrong too. Like,
Right.
just brainwash them. Like, just teach your kids right from wrong. Tell them not to stick forks in the electrical outlet and let them fucking make their own decisions. You know, like, don't
Right.
brainwash them. You're no better than them if you're doing that. You're
Right.
no better than them. You're stooping down to their level, and nobody's ever won by doing things that way.
Right.
But yeah, they are. It's the thing. The way things are done with kids in this country is really scary.
Do you have kids?
I got a whole shitload of kids. Yeah,
Okay.
I got kids that are adults. Yeah, I got a bunch of kids. I got too many of them. But yeah, they it's real scary that they like want to take away your decision making with them.
Yeah.
Shit. What was I going to say? What's the word? Implied consent? Is that it?
Yeah.
That you saw that where the CDC released that, where like, oh, all you have to do is just send home some sort of correspondence saying that, like, oh, at school this day we're going to be giving out the vaccine. And by
Yeah.
sending that
So,
home, you're just assuming the parents read that and you're able to
right.
do that. Fuck that.
Yeah.
That
There's a
to do
school in Missouri that sent home permission slips for field trips. And in the fine print right above where the parents sign, it included vaccinations in the field trip permission slip. So if you didn't catch that and you signed it, they had permission to then give your child a vaccination.
That's scary as hell.
Yeah.
They're not letting you make decisions for your kids.
Yeah. And so I like, okay, so me personally, and I've made this very clear to anyone that, that I've talked to about this. I'm not anti-vaccine. My kids have had all of their shots up to this point. But my daughter had a severe allergic reaction to the last flu shot the only flu shot that she's ever had. Her entire body broke out in hives. And then in the injection site, it was like a spot. I mean, it was huge. And this huge red welt that didn't go away for almost 2 weeks. And I mean, it had heat on it. Like, it was a legitimate allergic reaction. And so her pediatrician was like, I don't want you to get these for her anymore. I don't feel comfortable with, how she reacted to it. So, that was a conversation between myself and my pediatrician and about my daughter. And she advised, let's not do this anymore. The risk of her getting the flu was lower than the risk of her having another bad reaction. Right. The problem that I have is the government is putting themselves in between the parents and the physicians. They're removing the conversation, the medical conversation, and we're starting to get into actual like medical tyranny, in my opinion. You're threatening the licenses of physicians for prescribing medications that are not approved by big pharma. So I don't know. It gets interesting how all of this has played out over the course. And I mean, I've been incredibly vocal because my daughter's school, when they put masks back in place, she wears glasses. And I'm not trying to like be that fucking parent that keeps trying to find excuses.
She got all fogged up
all the time. So what she would do is she would just lift them up and put them on top of her head. So then when she would do that, she had to have surgery. That's why she has to have her glasses. It's not because she can't see. It's because the muscle in her eye overcorrects. So her eyes cross. And so with her wearing her glasses on her head, we went to the ophthalmologist over the summer. She's like, she's probably going to have surgery again. So what's my cost benefit analysis here? She doesn't wear a mask. She gets a virus that she has a 99.9% chance of recovering from. Or she wears a mask and then we have a 75 to 80% chance that she's going to end up having to have surgery again. So for me, I'm much more in favor of her getting the virus than I am in favor of her having to have surgery again. So
I don't know why they want to roll out this vaccine for a virus that really isn't bad for kids, as long as the kid doesn't have any like pre-existing things wrong with them. It's just a normal, healthy kid. They'll walk away from it within a week. Honestly, like I don't know why we're doing that, taking this risk, and especially now that the CDC is even saying themselves, like, "Hey, this myocarditis thing, this looks like it's actually
pretty bad. Maybe we should be
like, why are we going to risk? Why are we going to roll the dice with something like that? You're going to give somebody a possible, you're going to risk giving somebody a possible lifelong heart condition.
Well, it's because the government signed a contract with Pfizer and they have to follow through with the mandates. They have to follow through with forcing people to take it.
If this was ever about health, if the government really cared about anyone's health, they would start telling people, hey, put down that cheeseburger, start eating healthier.
No shit.
Get out of your house, get off your ass, start exercising. And not one government official has said that. Not one has. And it's
if anything, they've
crazy.
done the opposite.
No, they tell you stay in your house. Like it's stay in your house, stay on your ass.
Yeah.
Run and hide.
Get in our metaverse.
Eat
your food while you sit there. Yeah.
It's always just been about control. That's all it's about. I mean, I like to dabble with the conspiracy theories and all, but I'm not sure what the final, other than just pure control. I don't
Well,
see like why.
I don't even
I can't
know.
figure out what the hell. Why are they doing this? Like,
Felix, I would
what
almost
is their
argue
end
it's not
plan?
even about control anymore. I think it's financial. It is when you look at the amount of money, $39 billion is how much money Pfizer has made off of vaccine over the course of the last year.
And that's just
And
Pfizer. That's not the other ones either.
right, of course not. No, it's just Pfizer. And
Jesus.
I think tomorrow there are some contracts that are leaking that some people got a hold of that Pfizer signed with multiple different governments. So be on the lookout for that because that's going to be really interesting to see what that looks like.
And then it gets better when it's like, oh, tonight's news is brought to you by Pfizer.
Right? Yeah.
Like they're controlling the news now too. Like they're paying
When did
for
we
that.
need advertisements for medical drugs?
Yeah. Like,
I mean, other
how
than
many,
maybe like
how many
if you have a
countries?
limp dick or something like, hey, I got something to help you. But
I forget what it is, but there's other country. Like I saw this thing. People, a guy from some country in Europe visited America, and he was seeing these ads on television for medication, and it like blew his mind. Like, what the hell is this?
Right.
There's like only a handful of countries on earth that allow that to happen.
Yeah.
And it's all these people, all the people putting their vaccine, you know, in their fucking Twitter bios and everything like that.
Right.
It's like you had to have known before all
Tattoos.
this that
people are tattooing their arms. I got vaxxed on this date.
Yeah.
And this
The little stupid Band-Aid and shit. The hell is wrong with you? I got some dumb tattoos, but nothing that stupid. Like they had everybody knew that all of these people, like every politic, it don't matter which side of the aisle or what color their tie is, all of them receive money from Big Pharma. They all do. They all do. Why do you think Philip Morris and RJ Reynolds and cigarette? I smoke. I know smoking is awful. But why do you think all those companies are still around? It's because big tobacco lines the fucking pockets of the politicians.
Sure. Now, in the past, I would say it was because of the Marlboro Man and Joe Camel and the best advertising on the planet, but they don't allow that anymore.
Miss Joe Camel. Joe Camel back in like the late 80s.
You remember you get the points and stuff where you could like get his Marlboro gear and everything?
The Marlboro Miles.
Right.
I remember when I was like 20 years old, I had the leather wrapped ashtray that I got from Marlboro and shit.
Okay, so I've never smoked a cigarette before, but my dad smoked Marlboro Reds, and that, I mean, he collected all the points, he had all the hats and all of the gear that you could get, all that stuff.
Yeah, I had a hoodie and a fucking ashtray. It was awesome. But yeah, like it's never been about health. It's not.
Well, like you were talking about like put down the cheeseburger and get out and go and run, like bariatric surgeries to help, overweight people. And they don't, like, insurance doesn't cover that. They don't like to do those procedures unless you're paying cash money for them because you're no longer a customer, right? Like if you start getting healthy.
There's no money in the cure. There's no money in the cure.
No.
Just like everything, like memes.
Cancer.
And we go back to memes. Memes predicted that this shit was going to happen. Like long ago, like, oh no, it's going to be a continuing thing. And it is. Now they're saying, Fauci's saying like, oh, you're not fully vaccinated unless you've had the booster. And it's just going to keep
here's our new pill that we just rolled out. You got to take every day. Yeah.
I'm fairly convinced that pill, like, they're working on a pill.
Oh, they have it. Merck just released it. Yeah.
Yeah, that. I'm 100% convinced that's the whole big, ivermectin is horse dewormer.
You think it's ivermectin? Convinced.
I think it's a play on ivermectin. It's like, it's probably tweaked a little bit because there's no money in ivermectin. So like, I'm not going to sit here and say ivermectin will cure COVID.
Right.
But from people that I see, it helps with the treatment. Now I've had COVID twice.
Me too.
I've had it. Yep. I've had it 2 times. The first time sucked. It kicked my ass. It was June of 2020. it kicked my ass for a week, but I came out all right. And then I just had it last week of August into the beginning of September this year, just a couple months ago.
Right.
It wasn't that bad. I had a fever for a day and then some sinus pressure for a couple of days, and I tested negative 5 days later, I think it was. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. But everything that I'm seeing from all these people talking about, like, oh, I took, they took like a whole concoction of things. Like it wasn't just ivermectin.
Right.
Like the Joe Rogan talked about it, that so there's other something antibodies or whatever that he took.
So I did that. I did the BAM infusion, which is
How'd that go?
bamnavalibab, or what, I don't even fucking know how to say it,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's the antibody infusion is what I did.
Yeah. That worked?
Yeah, it's so like I probably would have been on a vent if I hadn't have taken the infusion. I went from headache and fever to pneumonia in less than 24 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, I was in bad shape. I have really bad
serious.
asthma though. Like super chronic
so you
asthma.
Yeah. You have you're a person that's at risk.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
okay.
So whenever I went into the hospital, it's funny because on Friday I was like, you know what, my fever's coming back. I feel like this is probably COVID. So I reached out to my kid's pediatrician and I was like, hey, I'm worried about the kids. What should I do? And she was like, I'm not worried about your fucking kids. I'm worried about you. She was like, I need you to come to the office and get tested. So I did. And once I got in there, it was a rapid test and she sent me straight to the hospital from there because she could tell just even on the phone like how labored my breathing was and stuff. And she's like, you have to go to the hospital. So I did, and they did an x-ray, and literally less than 24 hours I had already had pneumonia. So it was fucking crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's like one thing, like you can't deny, like there really is this virus out there.
Yeah, and it is bad.
Where
like,
it came
I get
from
that.
and how it started, that's a different argument, whole conversation for another day. But It is out there, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Like if you're sick, like take it seriously.
Yeah.
If you're sick, I can tell you, like I think having it the first time is what helped me out with it the second time. Although I've heard that the antibodies are only in you for like 6 months or whatever. I had it almost a year and a half later.
A study not too long ago that said I think your antibodies last for up to 18 months. It's like 16 to 18 months. So your timeline would be right about perfect then.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. The first time it was shitty. Second time wasn't bad. But like, it's out there. And if you think you're sick, just stay home. Yeah. Don't go near people. Like I'm not.
I mean, like any other illness, right? Like if you're sick, just hang out at home.
If I had a cold, I would not go around my 92-year-old grandmother.
Right. Yeah.
Because my 92-year-old grandmother would not be okay with a cold, probably. Like I think, just don't be fucking selfish with this. Like it's a real thing. It really is.
Yeah.
Like I said with the where it came from and the vaccine, all that. That's a totally different conversation. But COVID's real. It is here. If you're sick, fucking do it. Do what you need to do to fucking try to get better. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm real glad that, because at first, do you remember when it first started, a lot of people were actually denying the existence of it?
I wrote an article on my website, and I keep it there just solely for this purpose. I wrote an article in February of 2020, and I was like, because I had a friend that lived in Shanghai, and I was like, look, here's what's coming. Y'all need to be prepared. And I took pictures that he had sent me from Shanghai. I posted them on the article. And then like 2 weeks later, I was like, see, I fucking told you this was going to happen. Yeah. But yeah, I think that there were a lot of people that wanted to pretend that this wasn't going to be a big deal.
Well, I think it got blown out of proportion bigger than it needed to be.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Also, and it was I hate that the government, the powers that be, turned a virus into a political issue.
An opportunity, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be it's not a political issue. All they had to say was like, hey, we're not sure where the fuck this virus came from, but it's coming. This is
But
what
I
it
think
does.
even at
These are
that
the
time, though,
symptoms.
Felix, they did know where it came from. Like they knew that we were funding that lab.
I think they know. I didn't want to go
Yeah.
down that rabbit hole with the lab. I didn't want to head down there with that tonight. But like, I mean, even if they lied and said we don't know where it came from,
Sure.
because the government lies. Even if they did lie and say we don't know where it came from, but this is what it does. You know, here's the symptoms. Here's what you should do. You know,
Right.
people would have been a lot more receptive.
Oh yeah.
Human beings, the human race only exists just due to our natural defensive instincts.
Right.
Fuck, we had to survive saber-toothed tigers and shit.
Right.
You know, back however many years ago. That's because we are defensive.
Right.
When you sit there and tell people you have to do this, you must do that, that the defensive instinct automatically kicks in. It's like, fuck you. You know, I don't have to listen to you. If they would have just been straight up front, like, hey, if you would have had a fucking, if Trump and Pelosi came walking out on the White House lawn, this thing's coming, here's what we need to do.
Right.
You know, like, people would have been like, okay, you know, but they made it a partisan issue.
Yes.
Like it's a virus. It is, you know, like.
Well, and then they also they made it a mandatory thing, right? Like growing up, I'm a rebel, right? Like that, it's in my fucking blood. If my dad would tell me you're not allowed to do this, I'd turn around and go fucking do what he told me I'm not allowed to do. If he said you have to do this, I would completely push against it and not do whatever it was he told me I had to do. Like I will do the exact opposite of what your expectations are for me, unless you approach it in the right manner. When the federal government looks at me and says, you have to go get this shot, I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm not going to get shit.
I don't have to do shit.
Right. Yeah. Like, and I think that they're, and I think too, you know, coming out and saying 15 days to flatten the curve or whatever, give us 15 days and we'll be there. No, don't wear masks. That's a bad idea. It's not even going to help you anyway. Just kidding. We need you to wear 3 masks because, you know, it's like the fucking ineptitude of the federal government and their response in this manner. And it was, both administrations were guilty of it. Trump was the one that was in office when we were getting the 15 days and the don't wear a mask. And then Biden's in office and we need 3 masks. And just kidding, you need to give up your whole life. So it's not a partisan issue. They all suck. They're all fucking dumb. So anyway, I agree with you.
I don't say there are so many issues that human beings face that aren't really political issues, but then they get politicized.
Sure.
Like
that's existing.
That's what brought me over to towards anarchism. It's like, I'm fucking done. I'm just gonna do what I think is best for me.
Sure.
I won't fuck with anybody else. I won't step on anybody else's toes.
Right.
You know, because like I got some morals and shit. You know what I mean? Like going back to like,
liar. I'm just kidding.
I'm not gonna go near my grandmother if I got a cold. If I'm sick, you know what I mean? Like when I had COVID both times, I locked myself in my house until I got better.
Right.
Because I would feel really shitty if I gave to somebody that wouldn't be okay with it. I'd feel really bad. You know, I don't want to do that.
When I caught COVID, one of my coworkers ended up in the hospital, and he's a diabetic. So I was fucking wrecked because I thought it was my fault that he caught it. I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know for a heartbeat. But okay, there's a couple other things I want to talk about that are like less politicized. And so
what is it?
So you're a shit starter on Twitter, and I love you for it for the most part, but So you piss a lot of girls off all the time. Like they're really concerned about how you feel about them. And I don't understand why. But I want to talk about your 2s telling 5s that they're 10s conversation, because that really made a lot of people angry. And so
did people get mad? Did people get mad about that?
I think some people got a little butthurt.
Let me say this. Look, I'm a 44-year-old guy with a painting of a fucking cat hanging up behind them in a basement right now. If anything I say on the internet makes you upset, I'm going to say I'm not the problem.
Right. Yeah.
Honestly. Like, all right. If anybody got upset, I'm sorry. But
liar.
No, I don't know. No, no, I'm not sorry, actually. Yeah, like.
And you shouldn't be. I'm not telling you to be sorry.
Why did people get upset? People really got upset about that?
Because I think people who have been told that they're 10s realize that really they're just 5s. I don't know. I don't know why they got upset, but I was just curious on.
Hey, you got 2 people you can listen to. You got the 2 telling you you're a 10.
Right.
Or you can listen to me telling me that you're not.
You're like the friend that every girl needs before she walks out the house, when everyone else is like, "Oh my God, you look so good," and you're like, "Bitch, go change your clothes. Like, you look horrible."
I want people to be honest with me. I got told today they don't like. Look, I shaved the beard. I got told by like 3 people today, like, I don't like it. I appreciated it, so I'm gonna grow it back. Just because people were honest with me, you know? Like that's I would appreciate that. Don't sugarcoat things. Tell me exactly what you think. I shaved my fucking head. It's all gone. It's all gone. I had a mohawk before. No, not really.
Why didn't you like it?
I don't know. It's just, I liked having hair better. My plan is, so Thursday morning, I'm gonna get up, shave it all again, everything. I'm gonna shave everything,
and then just let it all
grow out for winter. All of it.
It's a good idea.
Let it all grow. Just like clean slate type of deal.
Yeah. But I just cut 6 inches off of mine before I got on here with you.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Damn. Back in like the beginning of the summer, I cut like 6-7 inches off because I just had the top, like literally just a mohawk.
Right.
I cut like 6-7 inches off of that. It was like a foot of just hair off the top of my head.
I could see you like a punk rocker, like spike.
No, I did it like all back, like it was Viking style, just like straight back. Because I always wear a hat anyway. Hats are like my anxiety comfort blanket.
Yeah.
I always have to have something on my, even if I'm not wearing a hat, I'll have like sunglasses on my head for some reason. That's like my anxiety comfort thing.
Yeah.
I always like having something on my head for some reason.
Gives you a little bit of security.
Yeah, it's like a security blanket. I don't know. I feel like totally naked if I don't have something on my head. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it. I don't care about my hair. People
know what's interesting about you?
Huh?
You made a comment to me the other day. I don't remember what we were talking about, but you said, "What's the worst they can do? Be mean to me on the internet or something." Like you said something along those lines. And I'm like, right. But I loved that so much because so many people are so concerned about what other people think. And
right. Especially strangers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially strangers. I care what my family, my kids, my parents, I care what they think about me.
Yeah.
No offense. I might joke around with people on Twitter, but I really don't give a fuck what you think about me.
Right.
Like, I really don't. You know, I don't know why people take it so seriously. It's validation. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you're going to the internet,
go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
If you're going to the internet to find validation like that, like you need to search are the people in your real life giving you that validation that you need?
Right.
It might be time for you to replace the people that you keep in your inner circle in real life.
Well,
they're the people that should be giving you that validation.
You should be getting validation from yourself too. Like I feel like there's a lot of people that are seeking validation from others when, I mean, like you can give it to yourself. So I'm the worst fucking person to give advice on that. Like, I hate myself. I can't stand my voice. I can't stand the way I look. So like I have all of the insecurities that I'm telling people not to have. But, you know,
Right.
it's always easier to be less
Yeah.
introspective and more outward. But
Yeah, I laugh when people try to say shit about me on the
right.
internet. I do. I laugh about it. I do. You know, I'll genuinely laugh. I'm good like that. I like if I get together with like my brothers or like my friends and all, we all just talk shit to each other, and it's
Right.
funny. Um, I never take anything that somebody says on the internet seriously
Yeah.
or personally, you
Or
know,
personally, yeah.
because at like it's as long as this screen is right here,
Yeah.
it's not real. It's not real life.
Yeah.
I don't care, and
Do you
not everybody's gonna like you. That's the one thing. Everybody needs to stop trying to get validation from every single person on earth.
right.
It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Just let it go. Just be you. Just be the
Do you
person that
follow
you like.
Hotep Jesus? Or do you ever see
I'm
any of
not
his stuff?
sure. So I'm so bad with Twitter. Honestly, if like when I refresh, if the tweet isn't like within like what I can see right when I
The first
fucking
few, yeah.
refresh, I don't really scroll that much. So
So,
I might follow him.
well, it doesn't, you wouldn't have seen this. This is something that he did like 2 years ago. I've been carrying a post-it note around in my purse because, like, sometimes, like, you know, you hear something and you just really like it. And I always just write, I write shit like that down. Like, if somebody says something that's impactful, like, I'm like, oh, wow, like, I'm going to think about that one, you know? And so I've been carrying this post-it note around for years now. And he made a comment and he said, "Who are you when you put the world in your pocket?" And what he meant by that was, you know, when you turn your phone off and you put it in your pocket, who are you? Like, are you just what people think about you on the internet, or like, who are you personally? And
Yeah.
that just really like sat with me for a while because I think as a female, and I try really hard not to be like, oh, I'm a girl, you know, like it's different. But um there for a long time, especially with like my real life friends, like people that I've known since I was a kid, getting caught up in like Facebook and Instagram and keeping up with the Joneses and, you know, do I look as pretty as her in my picture? Oh, let me use these 12 filters to make myself look good, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, you get caught up in that. And after hearing him say that, I've really almost completely moved away from using either of those social media platforms because I found myself feeling really bad about myself. Like, I found myself hating who I was as a person. So, because I didn't feel like I was good enough for the people on the internet. And when I stopped worrying about that, things changed significantly. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I stopped caring about what other people think about me a long time ago.
yeah.
It's just how I feel about myself. Because you got to understand, the person I am in real life isn't really the person that I am on Twitter. You know, like I go to Twitter just to fuck around and mostly to get news. That's where I get most of my news from because I don't
I thought
trust.
you said nudes, not news.
Yeah, that too. That too. Actually, I like to do that in real life with the Polaroids.
Oh, fuck.
No, but no, yeah, like I don't know. It's kind of I'm very comfortable with who I am in real life. Very
Yeah.
comfortable. I know who I am. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. I know who the people are that truly care about me. I know who the people are that I truly care about.
Right.
I don't take the internet seriously. Um, and I do, like, when I say that, like, oh, you know, a bunch of twos telling fives, they're tens. You know what I mean? Like, that's, I like to point out hypocrisy is a pet peeve of mine. It's a
Right.
major pet peeve of mine. Um, and I don't know. I kind of consider that to fall under the. I don't even know. Actually, I wouldn't even say it's hypocrisy. It's like be honest. Be honest with people. You know,
Right.
I hate that false. Um, it's like false hope
Right.
almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is like that's what it is. Don't give people false hope. Like, I'm not sitting there saying, like, tell them they're fucking ugly. Like, you don't have to do that either. You know what I mean? Just be like, hey, I like who you are as a person. That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's better than any physical compliment that I could get. If people sit there like, hey, you're funny or something, like, I'm going to fucking eat that shit up. I'm going to love that, you know?
I don't know, your face app picture of a girl, you're pretty hot as a female, so.
I'm a fucking hot female. And I got a bunch of daughters, and like they all look like that. It's scary. Yeah, it's scary. It's fucking scary. It's like the one. It looks just like my fucking 20-year-old daughter, and it's like, oh my god, like that's scary. It's terrifying. It's weird.
Great.
But no, yeah, I don't know. Just stop. Look into yourself for that validation. Don't look to what are essentially strangers on the internet for it.
Right.
Honestly, because if you give it to yourself, it's going to feel a lot better than a stranger on the internet can make you feel.
Yeah. Well, and like, that'll shine through too. If you believe that in yourself and you feel that in yourself, then it starts carrying through and it becomes real versus fake. Right.
Yeah. Get comfortable in your own skin, no matter what you got it. You got to like, especially guys. Girls, listen, guys will tell you some shit that they don't mean. And they're just kind of hoping that you're going to message them someday with a picture of your titties. Don't fall for it. It's not that like they really think you're attractive. Like they'll sit there and be like, oh my God, you're gorgeous, blah, blah, blah. No, and you're really not that gorgeous. But titties from an ugly girl are better than no titties at all. Like I'll throw guys under the bus with this all day long too. Like seriously, guys, step up your game. But like seriously, like stop falling for that shit. Like that's all it is. Guys will sit there telling these girls like, "Oh my God, you're so hot," blah blah blah. Because guys will sit there and think like, if I convince this girl that I think she's hot, she's going to let me see her naked. Like that's what it's all a game. It's all a game for everybody. But I don't know. Just be comfortable with yourself. Learn your strengths and learn your weaknesses. That's the biggest part you got to do.
Yep. I think I agree with you.
I mean, as fucking perfect as I am, I
know, right? Like nobody can hold a candle to you, Felix. You're just so amazing.
I'm just so perfect.
I'm so perfect.
I got kids in like 6 states and yeah.
Well, at least one of them's at least is 20, so she's not dependent on you anymore.
Jeez, I got more older than that too. But yeah. I don't know. Just be you. But hey, if that's really your kink, if you want to get the validation from people, whatever, that's fine. But just understand, not everybody's going to lie to you.
Yeah. No, and it certainly won't be Felix. He will not lie to you. So be prepared.
I've actually recently started backing off being like that critical about people. If you've noticed, I have started backing off.
You've been nicer since your last band, that's for sure.
Yeah, I kind of like, I don't need to do that. I don't really want to go out of my way to make someone's day shitty. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'll still stand by what I said with that. Like, it's just a bunch of 2s making, telling 5s that they're 10s. I'll still stand by that, but I'm just not really going to say it that much anymore. It's just whatever. People are going on the internet. Like everybody's going on the internet to have a good time. I'm not going to contribute to trying to ruin their good time anymore. Unless you say something really fucking stupid. Then I'm going to tell you you're really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But I'm over all of that shit. I started muting the people that were involved in all that are involved in all that stuff. I was like, you know what? Because like if it would pop up in my feed, it's like, oh, I gotta tell this bitch something. So now it's like I'm muting it. I don't want to see it.
You have to worry about it.
Yeah, I don't want to avoid that. I don't want to see that. So I'm going to avoid that from now on. I don't know. And if I ever said anything that really hurt your feelings, I'm sorry.
No,
Well, just about your physical appearance. If I said something about your physical appearance and I made you feel bad, I'm sorry. I probably meant it, but I'm sorry.
I'm sorry if it hurt your feelings.
I'm
I
sorry.
still mean it. But oh shit. All right. So what do you got coming up? You got gear coming. What do you got going on?
What do you mean?
Don't you have like shirts and shit on a website? Don't you do
they're
stuff
coming.
like that?
Yes, they are coming. But I have so many different things going on. So like I'm in the middle of starting up 2 businesses right now.
Okay.
2 separate businesses right now. I'm involved in all kinds of different shit. I got that going on. As far as like the shirts go, I'm not trying to make money off of that. It's like, dude, just as long as I break even, that's all I'm gonna do. Because like I designed this. That's actually one of my cats. That's Romeo. I turned into that meow bombs.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, I don't know. I just come up with an idea for a shirt, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna make it. And people see pictures and ask me where I got it from. I'm like, well, I made it. So I'm gonna start putting them up because I do have a lot of people that want that. That want the shirts, but I'm not going to make any money off them. Just break even. That's it. I'm actually going to do like more like pre-orders to make sure that I just break even.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, these shirts are going to be coming up. Let me know what you want.
Right.
But then people are like, oh, can I get that shirt? But I want it in that color.
That color,
this
yeah.
change to that and all. No, this is what it's going to fucking be. Like, that's it. You just get this shirt. I'm not doing all that shit. Yeah, but I'm also planning on doing some other shit. So like I did a tweet probably a month ago. I broke it down like, hey, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to get a fucking good, reliable rifle. Like I broke it down and I went through it. And actually that rifle that I did the piece on is completely stripped apart on my floor right in front of me right now because it's all about getting painted and all. But I did this whole tweet like, hey, you can buy this fucking rifle. It's a good quality rifle. You can buy, here's a good optic for it. And like a lot of it was found on like Amazon and shit. And it's like, I own all of the shit that I'm listing in this thread. It is good stuff. I beat the shit out of this and it keeps working and all. Because I see a lot of people online on Twitter like, oh yeah, I got to save up money so I can buy this rifle. And they're only like, and like I talk to them and it's like, why that one?
Right.
Oh, well, so-and-so said it was really good. It's like, well, so-and-so also wears a t-shirt with that company's logo on it, meaning they're paid by that company to say that shit is good. You don't like by all means, like there are high, just like anything, just like cars, like you don't, and I said it in the tweet, like you don't have to buy the Cadillac. The Toyota will get you there just as fine. Like and it's better than nothing. By all means, if you can afford the Cadillac rifle, buy the Cadillac rifle. But if you can't, this is better than nothing.
Yeah.
I want to start putting together something like that for gear. And I considered putting together like a website where you can get all this shit, like balling on a budget, fucking guns and gear and stuff like that, where it's not all that high end shit. Like I've been considering doing that. In like gear, so I'm putting one together for gear, but I'm actually buying all the stuff first because I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, hey, go buy this if I don't know if it's good or not. Like I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I'm actually starting to buy shit, like deciding like, okay, which cheaper plate carrier do I want to get? And I'm actually going to check the quality of it.
The site that you're making, are you going to be reselling this stuff, or are you going to be just like testing out gear and then telling people, okay, here's like a
testing the gear and like it
so kind of like reviews and that kind of
it'll
stuff?
probably be like I'm leaning towards like you just doing it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hey, here you go. This is, you can buy this shit. You don't have to get all this crazy expensive stuff.
Yeah.
Just to help people out because not like money problems are a real thing. Not every,
Yeah.
people have other bills to pay.
Especially right now. Yeah.
Like your electric bill or like your car payment is more important than like a rifle sometimes, but especially right now, I suggest to everybody, get guns. Here's a way that you can afford it. I put together a solid, very good AR-15 with optics, grips, everything like that for under $1,500 for everything. A totally fucking done out rifle for under $1,500. And it's all good quality shit. But going back to memes, a lot of times people take memes seriously. They'll sit there and say, like, a lot of people are like, oh, you buy optics on Amazon. It's like Amazon sells fucking Hollow Sun optics. Hollow Sun's really going to be one of my go-to choices above anything because I've used them a bunch and I trust them and they're reliable. They're good shit. And yeah, you can get that on Amazon. Like, you don't have to get this expensive. If you want the expensive shit and you can afford it, by all means. Right. But if you don't have anything at all and you can only afford Hollow Sun shit from Amazon, by all means, go for it. And that's what I want to do. I want to start, hey, like, because all these gun pages, like, I love all the gun people on YouTube. Well, most of them. There's a lot of people that I really do like. But a lot of the stuff that they use, it's the price of it is out of most people's reach.
Right.
And the average, like, most people can't afford that shit. So I want to be like, hey, okay, you might not be able to afford this, but you can afford this. Go with this.
I think the hard thing too is those people get into where companies start sending them stuff to say, hey, try this out, review it, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not even so much that they're saying, hey, we want you to go buy this. It's that they're being asked to review this equipment, and then they get into places where they're out of threshold for people's pockets. So I think that's a really great idea.
I would love to reach that point where it's like, I'm going to be really fucking honest about what I think of your thing. If you want to send it to me, just be ready if I give it a bad review.
Right.
But a lot of it's shit that I'm paying for. I'm buying it. That's, so I can help out the average person. Like, the average,
that's
like
awesome.
a lot of these young guys. I see a lot of the young guys in their early 20s on Twitter that are really just getting started in life and just starting to make money, and they don't have, they don't have the money to afford these high-end rifles, but they have it. It's that mindset where it's getting beaten in everybody's minds. Like, you have to get this really expensive shit.
Sure.
It's like, do you really? Because I got an IWI rifle right there that cost about $900 brand new. And it's fantastic. I've put a few hundred rounds through the thing without any problems and all. And it's IWI. IWI is a great company. They make good shit. You don't have to get that $2,500 AR-15. You can buy this $900 IWI one. And everybody I know that has used one loves it. I've wound up falling. I have some expensive shit. I have expensive rifles.
Right.
I fell in love with this thing, though.
Yeah.
Just because of the idea of it, like, oh my God, I spent $2,500, $3,000 on these other rifles, and this $900 one works just as well.
Just fine. Yeah.
It works just fine. And I fall in love with it because, like, I like cheering for the underdog. Like, I fell in love with it. Now I'm painting it. It's got a whole tiger stripe paint job on it.
Are you going to do it yourself, or are you going to let somebody else do it?
I'm doing it myself. I got the bags of spray paint on the ground right next to me over here. I'm doing it all myself.
Holy shit.
I'm waiting for the stencils to come in. But I'm doing it like, so Colorado.
Are you going to video it? Like, are you going to, like, is this going to be your first, like?
I am going to do like a progress, because it's the first time I have ever painted a rifle on my own. And like, awesome. I'm like setting the expectations really high for myself. So I'm doing like that Vietnam tiger stripe pattern.
Yeah.
But it's not going to have like the green and everything. I'm doing it actually like, so bobcats in Colorado kind of have like a distinct color. And I'm doing it with that, where it's like 2 shades of gray and a light brown, shit like that. So I'm doing it like bobcat colors. I figured.
See, I want one that's like
Me,
just
I have to do
completely
that.
like funky, fucked up colors. Like I love purple and green
Yeah.
together, like Joker. Like I'd like a Joker rifle.
Yeah. People are like, a couple of people said to me, like, well, why wouldn't you do it the green color so you can have it blend in and blah, blah, blah. It's like, if I'm using this rifle, they already know where the fuck I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the colors
Yeah.
on this thing. They know where I am already. Like, I'm not
Right.
really worried about it. But like, I got a 8.5-inch AR. And I'm considering doing like a whole day. I would bring it into a professional, but do a whole Day of the Dead thing on it. That's what I
Oh,
want
that'd
to
be
do.
cool. Yeah.
Like keep it black, but put like just the different color skulls all
Yeah.
over it. Just do a whole Day of the Dead one. And it's like, I'm not worried about tactical, something like that. Like I'm not
Right.
hiding in the woods with that. That's just, I think that'd be funny. That would be
That's
the one
something
that
you
I
just
would,
take to the range and
that's,
show off. Like,
yeah, that's my home defense gun.
right.
Honestly,
Right.
that's it. It's just got a fucking, reflex. It's just got a reflex sight and a flashlight on it. That's my home defense gun. And it's like, man, you know how embarrassing it would be if you broke into someone's house and you got killed with a fucking Day of the Dead rifle, like some Call of Duty shit.
Sugar skulls are the last thing you see before
Yeah,
you
right.
die.
God, that would be so embarrassing. Because I got a luchador mask too, and like I have this whole dream that like somebody breaks in and I put my fucking luchador mask on first.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. But no, yeah, that's my next thing I want to do. I really want to start getting it out there. Like, hey, I'm not saying get the cheap ass shit, but here's
Right.
stuff where you can save some money.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to sit there and take out a loan to buy a rifle. You can save up some money and you can get the lower quality stuff. If you really want a rifle, if you want to save up and get the expensive one, go ahead.
Right.
But if you kind of like, hey, I want to get a rifle sooner rather than later, here's what you're
Yeah,
gonna
and
get.
I think too, like entry level stuff, like teaching somebody how to build one rather than working with like really expensive uppers and lowers and stuff like that. Get something that
Yeah,
you can fuck up if you have to. You know what I mean? Like not that you
yeah.
want to, but if something were to happen. So I think
Well, a
that's
lot of
really cool. I think it's a great idea.
the gun community, a lot of the guys do push like, oh, build your own and all that and blah blah blah. And it's like, not everybody's fucking mechanically inclined to do that kind of
Right.
stuff,
Yeah.
And it's like, that's fine, if you can't do it, here you go, buy this. I built one, and honestly, I hated doing it. I've reached a point where it's like, I was gonna buy a fully assembled rifle for now
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it as much as everybody else did. I don't know.
Because it felt like more like work instead of fun.
Yeah, I like guns and all like that, but just like completely building them and all, that's just not my thing. I like
Yeah.
to just pick up a gun and go shoot,
Yeah.
Yeah, cars. I do a lot of shit with cars. I'll build my cars and all, but just guns just ain't my thing.
Right.
Oh, and in my little group, we actually do have a gunsmith in my little group.
See?
Yeah, we got a gunsmith.
There you go.
We got. So I don't have to do it. I can just have him do it now.
He can drill the whole third hole for you.
Whoa, hey, we don't say that out loud. But that's what I got going on. Yeah, try to get the t-shirts selling.
Well, keep me posted so I can share.
Add some guidance and some direction to people.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot in my fucking 44 years, so I think I can help out some people. Don't make the mistakes that I made.
Here are all the things I did wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been pretty fortunate. I've made some pretty good decisions in life, but
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So listen to us, kids. Listen to us older people. We know better than you.
I don't know.
Stop texting when you're driving. So what are you doing? What do you got coming up?
Nothing.
Nothing. Who's your next guest?
Actually, I don't have anything booked for a while. You're my 4th podcast in the last week.
You slut.
I know. I'm such a fucking whore. I was on Eric Bandazewski, I think is how you say his name. I was on There Will Be Bourbon on Monday of last week. And then I had Sam Jacobs Matt, the Australian, on Tuesday, Sam on Thursday, Tots on Saturday, and then you today. So I'll slowly be releasing those over the Thanksgiving holiday, and then I'll start back up. I'm hoping Cato is supposed to come on with me. He was in the process of moving, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get him rescheduled and back on sometime maybe in the next week or so. And then I don't know, I just book them as they come, really. I don't try to like whore myself out or anything, but I did over the course of the last week unintentionally.
Yeah. I'm so bad. I don't watch or listen to podcasts. I don't.
Most people don't.
I don't. The only podcast that I have ever listened to from like beginning to end was the Joe Rogan one just a couple of weeks ago with Jewel on it. Because I knew Jewel had like a real fucking fascinating life, like a real crazy backstory. That was the only one that's the only podcast I have ever listened to from beginning to end.
Funny story. A lot of people give me a lot of shit because I started my podcast right in May of 2020. And originally it was just like solo cast, just really me getting on and bitching about the government is what the first like 2 episodes were. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to start like trying to interview people. And as time went on, I feel like I'm decent at it, but I don't know. Like I don't, because I don't listen to podcasts at all. There is one podcast that I've ever listened to, and that's the Drinking Bros podcast. That's it. That's the only one I've ever listened to. And I've listened to multiple episodes because I love Dan Holloway. I just really respect and admire him a lot. But I've listened to a couple of Braxton McCoy's episodes, and I've watched all of like Citizen Hush's videos because I interviewed him. So I wanted like to watch his stuff to like make sure I understood who he was. Other than that, I don't watch him. And people are like, how do you have a podcast and you don't listen to them? And I was like, well, I don't ever want anybody to be able to say that I'm copying them. Like, I don't want them to be like, oh, you're just doing what I do, or you're just saying or talking to who, whatever. So I refuse to listen to anyone else's podcast ever because I don't ever want to like step on anybody's toes, if that makes sense. So I don't even know if I'm doing it right. I'm just like going with the flow. Like this whole shit, like you and me tonight, this is the first time I've ever done a live episode.
Yeah, look how great it went. It's fucking
to us,
like whatever. Yeah, everybody else tuned out. Like
everybody else is like, I'm not fucking watching that shit.
No, I don't see how many different like formats can there be. I mean, every podcast, even ones that I've listened to for briefly, it's just people sitting down and talking.
Yeah.
That's. I don't see how many different formats there can be. It's like you just have 2 people, 2 or however many people sitting down, and you're just like the fly on the wall.
Right.
I think it's a great idea. I really do. There's been a ton of times just like people you hear about certain events like, man, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall there. Just sitting there and just listening to people, just their conversations and just learning how people understanding. It gives you an understanding. So like this live right now, this is us.
I know.
Like there's no editing. This
Nothing
is us.
Fake
this
about
this is exactly how we are.
Yeah.
So I went and I actually did I was like, I'm going to do a podcast. And I came up with the name. Oh, that's a few months ago. I came up with the name for it. Twitter. I made a Twitter account for it, and I made an Etsy page under that podcast name, and that's where I was going to do the shirts under, and all, because I was like, oh yeah, I could just break even on the shirts. But if I put like the name of the podcast on the sleeve, it's like almost like advertising, sort of. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Twitter killed the account for it,
what?
even though I've only posted like 2 things on it. Yeah, they're like, oh, you got to verify your identity, blah blah blah, and I'm running out of phone numbers to verify my identity with. But but yeah, so it's like I just went scrolling. I'm like, I'm gonna start set up people to be on it. So Hush was one of the first people. I was like, I want to talk to you. Let's talk about like the hog hunting and everything like that.
Yeah.
I found a girl on Twitter. I haven't mustered up the courage to ask her, but she is a homesteader in Los Angeles. She does urban homesteading, and it's like, that's somebody I want to talk in the city. In her backyard, really cool. She does homesteading, and it's like, that's somebody I want to talk to. I found out about that survival school that me and my group of guys are going to, because I was at somebody that I want to talk to. The two guys that run that school, I want to talk to them. Stuff like that. So like, I wanted to do one that could be, you know, like a conversation, but also like beneficial to people. People can learn.
Yeah, sure.
Because this girl on Twitter, I forget her name, but she posts pictures and all. It's like in her backyard in Los Angeles. She's growing crops and everything like that, and it's like, that's awesome. Cool as hell. Like, it's doable. It's very doable, and I think that's I more or less want to talk to people that they have something that I want to learn from them.
Sure.
You know?
Well, and that if somebody was listening, they'd learn something from it as well.
Yeah, that we all could learn from. I mean, how many people would be able to do homesteading in the backyard in their backyard in Los Angeles? Like, that's
not
impressive,
very many.
You know? And even if you have more land than than a backyard in Los Angeles has, you could do it on a larger scale. You know what I mean? That's just people like that. Why did you I mainly want to know why people got involved. What made you get involved in that? You know? Yeah. But I considered doing it, but it's just like, I don't have the time. Like, I moved to Dallas this year for 3 months. Like, that's how crazy my life is. And it was supposed to, March to June. I moved to Dallas in March.
Like, to stay there, and then you changed your mind?
3 months later. I'm moving back to Colorado. Yeah, that's my life. It's crazy.
You're fucking nuts, man.
And I'm kind of like, I'm like Kramer from Seinfeld. Nobody really knows what I do for a living and all like that. It's
carrying around your briefcase that has nothing inside of it.
Yeah, right. All these different aliases.
People are like, what the fuck is Seinfeld?
Yeah, right. Fuck. But no, yeah, my life's crazy. I wish I could sit down. Like, I went looking like, okay, I can buy like that podcast kit. And I'm like, do I even need that?
Right.
Can I just like this? Like, I could just do it like this.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to have all that special fancy shit. It's just me and my iPad and my fucking cat painting, and just let it go.
Fuck.
You know?
That is the best painting ever, man.
It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, my friend found it in the trash. Somebody was throwing this away.
Could you imagine somebody throwing
grabbed
it
it
away?
For me? I know, right? It's fucking awesome. It's fantastic.
There's a guy, you remind me so much. So before my dad died, he would send me on these little mini adventures that he wanted me to go on. And one of the places where he sent me was to, do you remember that show American Pickers, where they'd go to all these different places and get stuff? Well, on an episode of American Pickers, my dad saw this guy down in, it was like southern Georgia where this guy was. And he had a whole ass fucking it was like a shop or whatever, but he called it the Museum of Wonder is what he called it. And he had created like his own version of art, and it was called something Fangalism or something. I wish I could remember all of this. I have pictures. I'll have to send you some of them, but he would take like your cat picture and then he would draw like skeleton bones on its face. So like he would take like normal people pictures or normal animal pictures and then would draw like their skeletons, like would paint their skeletons on top of it. And not the whole place was like that, but he had like Bigfoot's footprint and like just like stupid, crazy shit, like that other people would consider like trash. Like somebody would throw your little kitty cat picture away, but he would keep all of this stuff. It was like just a huge hoarder's den. So anyway, I went there and he had this thing called the Do Nanny, which was like a mild version of the Burning Man festival. And so I went and I camped out and I sold like a bunch of pictures and stuff. And it was so much fucking fun. And so I got to take a tour of the Museum of Wonder, and I'll have to send you the pictures. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's what it reminds me of, like you saying like somebody threw that away.
Yeah. I can't believe it. This is an actual painting. Like, this isn't like a print. This is
It's not a print. It's an actual painting.
Oh, no. That's an actual painting. Yeah. It's a real painting on canvas. That's great. A real painting. Man, somebody was going to throw it away. I don't know. It's funny. It's ugly as hell, but I love it.
It's very fitting for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
don't know.
it.
I actually like art. I went to that Van Gogh, the immersive Van Gogh exhibit.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous. So I went to Texas and it came in the week after I left. Van Gogh's my favorite artist. Like, I'm absolutely fucking obsessed with him. And I was so sad that I missed that exhibit.
I got this from there.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah. That was a poster, and I just so happened to have, it was a poster. I picked it up, and actually the other day, I just saw in my garage. I was like, oh shit, this frame fits that poster. So I just put that up. That actually just got hung up there yesterday. But yeah, I actually really do. I like art a lot. I love Van Gogh. There's this one, but the immersive, if you have a chance to go to the immersive Van Gogh, do it. It's so cool.
I want to go so bad.
You're in this room and it's 360 degrees of just
it's like digital, you're in the painting. Yeah.
You're in the painting.
So fucking cool.
It's like, you don't even have to really like art to like it's just a cool experience.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a real cool experience. But yeah.
So when I lived in Europe, I went to Amsterdam and I got to go to the Van Gogh Museum while I was there. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it was, God, man, I love him so much. And he was fucking insane. So that makes me love him even more.
He was batshit fucking nuts.
He was batshit fucking.
And
you cut your fucking ear off for a girl, like, you've lost your fucking mind.
He was only 37 years old when he died. He was young. He did all that by the time he was 37 years old.
Isn't that funny to think about that? You think about like Mozart and Van Gogh and Da Vinci and all of these people, they were so young and they accomplished grandiose, massive things. And then you look at us and we're like, oh, I fucking made a meme on my phone, man.
Right. So when you're leaving the immersive Van Gogh exhibit, when you're going down the hallway, they had on screens, they go like a timeline of his life, where he was, during this time, and the paintings that he did, and who the people were at that point who were influencing him. They do the whole timeline. And like, I knew before that, I knew the fact that he was only 37 when he died before that. But when I watched this whole timeline and all this shit that he did by the time he was 37, I was like, holy shit, like, what the hell have I done?
Right. Yeah. What am I doing?
What have I accomplished? Like, honestly, what have I accomplished? And all, like, it makes you think, like, but like you said, all these like great people did a lot in a short amount of time, know? And it kind of like motivates you, like, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. Like, it really does. Have you heard of Meow Wolf? Have you heard about that at all?
No.
I was just recently exposed to this. It's Meow Wolf. And they're these
like cat dog.
Yeah. So the word meow and wolf, right? You can go online. It's a completely immersive art exhibit. And I looked at the pictures online and it looks so fucking cool. So there's one up in Denver now. There's 5 of them total. I know there's one in Denver and there's one in Santa Fe. Santa Fe is only like a 4-hour drive from me, and I love that town. Santa Fe is a really cool city. And I'm like, so I'm planning like, fuck it, I'm going to both because I'm an hour away from Denver, and then I'm 4 hours from Santa Fe. So I'm telling you, look at that shit. If you like art and like, especially like crazy, colorful shit, you're inside these things, and they're huge buildings, and like you walk inside, like, they have like a tree built inside of this, and you walk inside this tree and everything.
That's
like,
cool.
It's so cool. And apparently all of them are different too. None of them are the same.
So then they force you, if you really like one,
it's
then you have
like
to travel to the other one. Yeah.
Like there's one in San Diego, and I'm like, oh, I'd be down for like a San Diego trip in like January or February.
Right. Yeah.
Get the hell out of Colorado in the middle of winter. But yeah, that's something really cool too that I want to check out. But yeah, they apparently, I think they have like 5 of them. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure there's like
That's
5.
awesome. So
That's
how'd
cool
you get
shit.
into art? Like for you to like, what made you like get into that?
I get fascinated with things that I can't do.
Okay.
I can't
That's
draw for
makes sense.
shit. I
Yeah.
can't draw for shit. So I decided to learn about the people that actually do the
Can
art
or do. Yeah.
and all. And I can appreciate it. It takes a lot of talent. Like you look at Van Gogh, for example. His paintings aren't like detailed. Like they're not fine details on it, but they're so goddamn intricate
Right.
when you look at them. Like it's I can't explain it. I don't know. I can appreciate other people's talents. Like that takes a lot of talent to do that shit. Especially
Right.
when you look at like the big guys like Van Gogh and Rembrandt, Picasso, and all those guys. Like when you look at that, it's like, man, it takes a lot of talent to do that shit. Modern art is just a gigantic fucking tax loophole. But all those guys, I think like Picasso is really like the last great painter.
You know what,
I
though?
really do.
I will argue with you on that because I think art transformed. So I think Picasso is like the last like traditional artist, but like you have like street art now. So like Banksy and it's Space Invader and all of these guys who are doing like
Yeah.
in-person art. And so while not the same, but have you ever tried to spray paint a picture or spray paint a painting of some sort?
So growing up in North Philadelphia, spray painting on walls is the only art that I did get good at. So yeah, I am pretty good
I
with
don't know
a
why I
spray
even
paint
asked that
can.
question.
Yeah, I am pretty good with a spray paint can. But like you give me, and
But it's
I mean,
hard.
it's very hard. No, I said
Yes.
I'm decent. I'm good at graffiti. I'm not good at like these big
Right.
intricate mural. I love them. So down here I live in Colorado Springs. We got Platte Avenue runs east to west through the city, and that's the art section. There's actually a big Breonna Taylor mural down there here. I do love street art. I do. I can really like. I really do appreciate the shit out of it.
There's a
Um,
documentary on Netflix called Exit Through the
about the art, the exit through the gift shop or
Gift
something
Shop.
like
Yeah,
that.
Exit Through the Gift
Yeah,
Shop. That's what
yeah,
it is. Have you watched
yeah.
it?
I did.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is. It's really good.
It made me
Yeah.
fall in love with street art. Like it made me like really love the guys who could potentially get in really big trouble if they got caught. Like
Oh yeah.
I
Especially if
guess
they
maybe it's
showed
that allure of that like underground type stuff that
yeah.
I just really
They're
appreciated.
doing it on like the giant posters, and even it's like we have to sneak up here and get that shit
Right.
glued up on
Yeah.
the side and all. Um, but yeah, I like art. I do. I really do. And not just like paintings and all. Like I love music and everything like that. But yeah, I got really fascinated with the traditional art, the paintings and the drawings and all, because I
Sure.
couldn't do it. I couldn't do
Yeah.
it no matter how much I tried drawing. Like I'll fuck up a stick figure. Like, so like I just like I don't know. I just kind of dove into it because it was almost out of like a jealousy. Like, God damn it, I
Right.
wish I could
Yeah.
do that sort of
Like
thing, you know?
do you ever try to like when you come back, do you ever get like inspired to try to do the things that you
Yeah,
see? Like yeah.
I really did. Like after that immersive, I went to that immersive Van Gogh. It's like I'm getting a fucking easel, getting some canvases, and I'm gonna paint. And then I
And it
was
lasted
like,
for
yeah,
a
I'm gonna
week,
fucking
right? Yeah.
I didn't even get the Michaels to buy the shit. Like, like I didn't even get there to buy the shit. But it's like I honestly think I don't know, because when you do start getting involved with something like that, once you do start to master it, I don't feel like you're as appreciative of it
No,
as you
you're
were when
right.
you can't do. I don't think I want to lose that appreciation. So like so my father and stepfather are both automotive mechanics, and I love cars are a big fucking hobby of mine. Huge.
Right.
The only reason
You'd
why
hate it
I
if you
did
worked on
not,
them every day.
that's why out of like high school and all, that's why I did not become a mechanic.
Right.
Because I would remember being like kindergarten age, going to races and car shows and shit with my dad, and he loved it. And then over time, he just got less interested in cars because when you spend all damn day fixing broken cars, the last thing you want to do when you go home is work on cars.
Right.
That was like my escape. I started doing braking oil changes when I was 7 years old. That was like my escape to get away, to keep my mind off
I
of the
really need my
bullshit.
brakes changed. So if you want to come to Indiana
I gotcha. I would tell you to drive out here, but your brakes might fail by the time, the 800-mile trip out here. But no, yeah, that's why I don't think I want to lose that fascination and appreciation for art.
Right.
I don't want to lose it. It's also like magic. Like I love fucking magic. Like I love watching magicians and shit. And it's like, I know there's like, yeah, it's like sleight of hand and shit like that. But I don't want to learn how to do it because I like that. Holy shit, that was really cool. I like that. I like being wowed like that. That's the only reason why I won't learn how to do card tricks and all, because I want to be entertained by shit like that.
Sure.
There's some things that
My daughter has gotten really
big
into magic lately. She's obsessed with it. And I think for her, it's more about like the showmanship. Like she likes the attention. She likes people to watch her, but she also really likes to like get you. Like she really enjoys like the look on your face when you can't figure out what she just did. And she's got this, it's a little Oreo, and like you take a bite out of it and then you put it back in your mouth and then it's back together. And so it's a really good trick. I'll have to send you the video of her doing it. But I was in, like, kids, they really enjoy coming in the bathroom when you're trying to take a piss. So I was literally peeing on the toilet and my daughter walks in and she's like, "Mom, watch." She like takes a bite of it. And I'm like, "What are you in here eating cookies for?" Like I have no fucking clue what she's doing. And then she sticks it back in her mouth and I'm just watching her and she pulls it out and I'm like, "How did you do that?" Like she like actually got me. But I'm like sitting on the toilet trying to pee and I'm like, "This is just go away." I'm like, "Come show me later." Like we're not doing this right now. So but she did pretty good. I took her to, there's like a little local magic shop and I took her there and she picked out a little trick. And I told her, I was like, the thing with magic is you have to practice over and over and over again and get really, really good at one trick. And then you can pick up another one. So she's been working really hard on this disappearing ball trick that she got. So I have a feeling that'll be making an appearance at Thanksgiving for all in attendance. But do you got any big plans for Thanksgiving?
No, just getting a bunch of so here's Colorado. There's not too many people out here that are like originally from here, especially in Colorado Springs.
Right.
Everybody here is like a transplant. So I'm just getting together with a bunch of local friends and all, having people. Everybody's coming over to my place.
That's good.
For Thanksgiving. Yeah.
You cooking?
So that's it. Yeah. I'm smoking a turkey. I'm smoking a turkey.
I hate turkey so much. It is my least.
You what?
Like, I hate turkey.
I only really enjoy turkey on Thanksgiving. It's like the only time of the year I eat. I prefer ham, but it's like it's Thanksgiving. You gotta eat turkey.
No,
that's the only day. But I like the dark. I like the
You
dark
can
meat.
eat a ribeye steak for Thanksgiving and not eat dry, fucking gross turkey.
Yeah, and they were talking about jalapeno cranberry sauce. I'm like, I like jalapenos, but I love cranberry sauce. Can you just make some plain cranberry sauce for me, please?
Yeah.
Like funny. I love cranberry sauce, but you only eat it that one time of the year. And I think that's why I like it so much.
One of my favorite things is like all the snack food that you eat before the main meal.
Right.
So my favorite thing is like taking like, cream cheese, like just a stick of cream cheese, and then putting like pepper jelly on top of it and like drizzling it over and like putting that on club crackers. Oh my God, I can't wait to eat that. I'm so excited.
It's such a white girl thing.
I know. Let me grab my pumpkin spice. Hey.
No, I started like really experimenting with cooking and shit. Like, I don't know if you saw, I cooked chicken wings inside of a watermelon, and it was so goddamn
What?
good. Yeah, the charcoal's in the water. So you take a watermelon and you cut it long ways. Cut it. Where's the camera? You cut it
Right.
long
Okay.
ways, about like 2/3 of the way up,
Uh-huh.
and then you scoop it all out, and you take all the juice and all the spice, like paprika, cayenne, onion, garlic, salt and pepper. Rub that on the chicken and all, and then you do the watermelon juice,
Right.
and you wipe that all over the chicken. You stick them on the skewers, and then you light the charcoals inside of the fucking hollowed out watermelon.
Huh.
And you lay the skewers over top and put the lid back on top of it. I'm very critical of my own food. Like, I like to be honest with myself.
I can tell
stuff.
you're very passionate about this. It tasted really good, didn't it?
I'm going to say it was, and I'm not the only person. So, like, I'll give it to people. When I'm trying something new like that with food, I will bring over 1 or 2 people that I know are going to be really fucking honest about it.
Right.
And I gave that to one of those people that I know is going to be completely honest. And they straight up said it was the greatest chicken they've ever had in their life.
That's awesome.
It was so goddamn good. And it's so easy to make. You cook it. So like with the like you go heavy with like the cayenne, that adds the spice, but the watermelon juice adds the sweetness to it. So they like balance each other out. It was so fucking good. Like I was like, I took a bite of it, and then that first bite, I got so excited. I was like, this is a fucking masterpiece. Like, this is so goddamn good. But yeah, I started making like macaroni and cheese. I'll send you all the directions for it.
No,
Like
remind me to add you to my Discord, and there's a whole like recipe section. You can go in there and put your recipes and stuff. Yeah.
Because I just came up with my own 3-cheese mac and cheese, and it's skillet. It's cooked in a skillet. I came up with that. Oh, it's so good.
Is it real
good?
So
good. Oh, it's so fucking good.
I'm super partial to my macaroni and cheese recipe. Like, I almost have gotten to the point where I'm such a fucking whore and I won't eat anyone else's macaroni and cheese because it just isn't as good as mine.
Do you put any mustard in yours?
I don't put mustard in mine. I do put milk in mine.
That's the secret ingredient. Oh, I'll tell you, that's the secret ingredient. When you're adding in like your spices.
I like how you do you're like the guy, the meme where he's like sprinkling.
That's why I did it. The ground up mustard. Ground up mustard is the secret ingredient. Try it. I'm telling you, it just hits a little bit different because of that. Then the last time I did it, I also made some skillet cornbread, and I crumbled up some of that into the mac and cheese. And
that sounds like, really good.
That was.
Do you guys have Mark's Feed Store there? Do you guys? I don't know if that's just a local franchise or what, but they put cornbread in their macaroni and cheese. It's really good.
Yeah, I decided to do that the last time I did it, and it was really fucking good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I've gotten into cooking recently, but mine always involves like, it's nothing like simple, and it usually involves like a grill.
Ladies,
all my stuff.
Felix can cook, so you have to be at least a 5 to reach out to him, and don't be a 2.
No, but yeah, it usually involves the grill. I got smokers and all kinds of shit because that was something I always wanted to learn. So this year, I taught myself how to. It's like I knew how to work like a grill and shit, but this year I taught myself how to smoke meats and everything, and I'm actually pretty proud of it. It's like, goddamn, I'm like actually pretty good at this. Like when I suck at something, like if I try to draw a picture and be like, oh nope, I suck. But then like when I actually cook, I'm like, okay, yeah, I got this. I'm good at this. This is something I can do. Like especially with the grilling and all. I mean, There's better out there, but I don't know. I kind of like surprised myself. I got pretty good at it in a pretty short amount of time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's got their thing. mine's smoking meats. Smoking these meats. You ever see a Mark Zuckerberg commercial? Oh, we done?
We've been on here for 2 hours.
Holy shit, we have been.
I know. Wow. And it's 11 o'clock, and this bitch has to go to sleep.
Oh, it's only 9.
Well, there.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere
East
else.
Coast time.
All right. But we can do this again because this was fun. And I like this live business. So maybe we'll do some more of this.
Yeah, no edits, just pure, uncut, whatever we say. That's what we have to stand by.
Yeah.
Whatever we say. You better say what you mean.
Who's going to be pissed tomorrow?
Who's going to be angry? All them twos.
All right. I love you so much. Yeah, all the twos. The twos are going to be pissed. All right. You be good.
Thank you for having me. It was a good time.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye. How do I leave?